And now, views and interviews from the world of technology. Coming up, Sky News Tech Talk with Krista Holloman.
Do you want to tell me more about the book? What's the story? What made you write it?
Sure. Well, the book is Startup Nation, the story of Israel's economic miracle. And we wrote it because we realized that there is a huge story to tell about Israel that hadn't been told. That here's a place that only 7 million people, but has more startups than anywhere outside of Silicon Valley, and is getting more venture capital per capita, 2.5 times as much as the United States, 30 times as much as Europe on average. And this is a huge story in a world that's trying to figure out how to be more innovative.
So what's the answer? How come Israel has been so successful then?
Well, there are many factors that we talk about in the book. I mean, one of them is the fact that Israel itself is a startup, and that the same kind of drive and determination and willingness to take risks that helped create Israel in the first place is very important for startups. Another, of course, is that Israel is a country of immigrants. Immigrants tend to be very driven. They're willing to take risks. And that's what it takes to be an entrepreneur. A few success stories start inspiring all kinds of people. That this is a critical part of the process of building an innovation sector, because when you have a few of those success stories, people look at that, and becoming an entrepreneur becomes a lot more acceptable. It's still a crazy thing to do. It's still something that's not normal. That's not going to be the norm in most countries, even in Israel. Not everybody's. It's a minority of people who are entrepreneurs, but it becomes much more acceptable.
So companies like Google and Microsoft, they have R&D centers in Israel. Apparently Apple is will open their first research center outside Cupertino now in Israel. Why are companies opening R&D centers in Israel? Why not in the UK or in another country?
Yeah, so I think what Israelis, these big companies are finding is that there's a real beautiful connection between big companies and startups. And because there are so many startups in Israel, the big companies are basically coming and saying, this is where we need to do R&D, this is where we need to, what's happened in a lot of cases is, it's not so much they open an R&D center, but like IBM, for example, bought 8 or 9 startups in Israel. So that becomes their R&D center. They buy companies for a particular technology.
Sky News Tech Talk, in association with First Tuesday, the UK's largest network for high-growth technology companies and their investors. For free membership, visit firsttuesday.org.uk.